Hey pedalers, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the TREK EMONDA 2021 road bike that has just been released. If you guys haven't watched the video, I already talked about the leaks of this bike previously, so now it's finally nice to see it officially rolled out and available for purchase. So I'm very excited to make a video on this topic, on this bike, because I think this bike looks awesome, and I'm so happy that TREK has finally made the improvements for the EMONDA that has been, long overdue, guys. A lot of the things I talked about in that video in terms of tube shapings, because if you guys don't know this, the TREK EMONDA is TREK's climbing bike, but if you guys know or follow the pro scene, a lot of the bikes that people are choosing are the all-around bikes, so you need something that can climb good but also has aero benefits, and that's why you see a lot of climbing bikes going away and being replaced by the all-around race bike, which I would say is a good blend between a climbing bike and an aero bike. One thing I want to quickly note too is, if you guys didn't watch the vlog, I made a vlog recently where I rode 254 kilometers, which was the longest ride up to date that I've ever done on a bike. So if you guys do want to check that out, it is on my channel. But I'm just saying that because now I'm back at home making videos. So a lot more content to be produced by me and for you guys to watch. So if you guys can support the channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Strava. Links in the description below. Serves as a good way to keep up with the type of training that I do and some inspiration. So enough with the chit chat. Let's get right into the brand new 2021 TREK EMONDA road bike. So we're currently on the TREK United States website. Now, if you know anything about the TREK EMONDA, like I said, it is TREK's climbing bike. But from the pro scene and the riders that ride the TREK bikes, they said that they wanted a good climbing bike, but also a bike that is not only good for climbing, but also good with aerodynamic benefits, because racing is so dynamic at the pro scene. So that's why they want to focus on more aero, which means faster and lighter. So right now we're taking a look at the TREK Segafredo Pro Team issued TREK EMONDA, and I think it looks beautiful. I really like the color scheme. Now, I do want to hear your opinion in the comment section down below. Do you guys like the big TREK logo that pretty much is slapped all on the down tube and goes to the head tube area? Because I personally do like it. Now, there were people that commented, I'm not an advertisement for a bike company, which I understand, but I do feel like if you do buy a bike, you should have some pride in riding their bikes. If not, then you should probably just get unbranded frame, or maybe paint your bike with no logos. But I think if you do like the company and the products that they do produce, having a nice logo that stands out, I personally think it's really nice and appealing. You'll see that they have two options where you can see the K of TREK goes almost onto the head tube area, so it's really big, especially when we see how it looks when you're on the bike. I think it looks really nice, but they also made versions where the TREK logo is a lot smaller. It stops right here, so they have it for both riders, depending if you do like the big TREK logo or if you do not, but I think it looks really nice. Now, one thing I just want to talk about quickly, a quick summary, because I don't want to get into too detailed. This is more to show you the different specs on the different bikes. This is the TREK EMONDA SLR 9, and the big difference with the SLR models compared to the SL is that the SLR models are a lot lighter. On this specific model, they have a new carbon fiber material called the OCLV 800 series, which I guess is a lighter series compared to the 700. TREK has a different system in terms of labeling for their carbon layout. So 700, I guess, used to be their lightest that they would offer for their high-end bikes. Now it's 800, and it's supposed to be 30% lighter and stiffer. So they made some improvements. Now, the biggest difference that you do see on the TREK EMONDA, that you do see on the SL versions as well. So in terms of the carbon layout, the SLR versions are a lot lighter compared to the SL versions, which the SL versions have the OCLV 500 series carbon. So it's kind of like, if you guys are familiar with Giant, you have the SL series and then you just have the normal series. So one's lighter carbon, the other one's just normal carbon, which is a little bit heavier. But like I said, if you're not a pro racer or someone that has the money to dish out, you should be fine with the SL version or the lower version for TREK. But the biggest difference that they made on the TREK EMONDA is the tube shaping. If you guys are familiar with the TREK EMONDA from 2013, 2014, that type of era, which is the last time there was a new iteration of the EMONDA, it was really groundbreaking technology at the time, and I thought it looked really cool. One of my teammates actually had the TREK EMONDA, so I thought it was a really cool bike when it came out. But now with everything going to more all-around aero race bikes, but when I say aero, I mean more aero flares rather than a dedicated aero bike. So all around race bikes, that's what I'm going to call them in the future. It's important to have not only the specific key characteristics of a climbing bike, but also have the tube shaping and aero profile of an aero bike, but on a climbing bike, and that's how it becomes the all-around race bike. So I think what they did was really nice. They also had new Bontrager wheels, and on top of that, they have a new integrated stem and handlebar, which I think is really nice. And that just goes back to the whole thing of you want this to be the all-around race bike. So you see these rims are not super aero, and the handlebar and stem are nothing that we don't even see on dedicated climbing bikes. So an integrated cockpit is pretty standard, especially in the pro peloton. So really nice, and these are flat mounted disc brakes. So pretty much everything you would expect. Obviously, this is a very high-end bike with the group set and everything that you get in terms of the carbon layout and everything. But I just wanted to show you guys quickly what the bike looked like, and you can see that the pros are liking it. Obviously, they are paid to say that, so take that with a grain of salt. I do want to show you guys some really cool setups in terms of color schemes that they have, so we'll quickly look at them right now. Now, one thing I think Trek does that's really cool, but obviously not that I would do anytime soon, is the Project One. So if you guys aren't familiar, Project One is basically where you can get a custom version of the bike dedicated to your specifications. So I don't think I have that much money to spend on a custom road bike anytime soon, but it's really nice to see the different colors that you can get, and it's very interactive in terms of the options and availability. So this one is really nice. It's kind of like the Trek logo is so nice. The color gradient is just glossy. Like, that looks so cool. It looks like, I would say this one looks like the space, like a space theme. You can see that kind of like the galaxy. And then if we close that down, we have this one. Not a big fan, but these are just some color options. I just wanted to show you guys what they released. I think when a company does that, obviously it's a different clientele, so this isn't really for people that are on a budget. You know, if you're going to spend Project One, which I've met some people that have bought Project Ones, let's just say they make a lot of money during the year. So this one I really like. I like gold and black. I'm a really big fan of that color scheme. I think this one looks even nicer than the other Galaxy one. So I'm a big fan of gold and black. I think that's a really nice color scheme. And then this one's a pretty standard one. So other than that, I just wanted to show you guys the Project One options. Now I'm going to show you guys the most expensive TREK EMONDA that you can buy, and also a cheaper one that you can buy. So right now we're looking at the team issue TREK EMONDA SLR 9 E-Tap, retailing for 12,000 USD. You heard me correctly, 12,000 USD. Funny enough, I went to a Trek store and said, hey, did you guys get in the TREK EMONDA SLR 9? And he looked at me and said, you know how much that bike is? And I said, yes, I do, but did you get it in? And he's like, no, only special order. You would have to special order the bike in order to get it. I'm like, thanks, bye. And I obviously know a lot of bike shops are not going to, carry it because it is an expensive bike. And if you're going to spend $12,000, you definitely will know if you're, the bike fit and all that stuff, you're going to be a pretty serious rider or have some pretty serious cash. So I was just checking, but anyways, let's look at the bike now. Full E-Tap group set, pretty standard in what you would expect for a $12,000 bike. Now the color schemes, I think that's the female team issue, and I also like this this black version as well. So it still has the Trek logos very big, but I think this color scheme is very nice as well. Now let's look quickly at the specs, because I know you guys always love looking at the specs. So we'll look at it really quickly. So you get frame, carbon fiber, highest carbon that Trek offers. You get the 4 carbon. The wheels are carbon fiber as well. Now, one thing I don't like is the max tire size on the TREK EMONDA 2021 seems to be 28C, which I think is pretty small. Being that the Giant TCR, the Specialized Tarmac, and the Cannondale Super 6 Evo can all have 33mm tire size in terms of clearance. It's kind of unfortunate that their max tire size right here is 28C. Now, in terms of the drivetrain, this is why it's usually expensive. You get the SRAM E-Tap Red 12-speed group set, so no shocker there. That's why it's going to be expensive. And usually with the most expensive group sets, you're going to have the lightest carbon, you're going to have an expensive wireless group set or electronic group set, and carbon fiber rims and other componentry as well. Also, I want to note for componentry on the most expensive EMONDA, which is the one we're looking at right now, the seat post, saddle, and stem and handlebar situation in terms of integration is all carbon fiber. So yet again, that's a good reflection of why it's 12,000 USD. Now it's time to look at a cheaper, more realistic EMONDA. So we're taking a look at the TREK EMONDA 2021 SL5. So this one's retailing for $26.99, so $2,700 USD, and let's see what you get on this bike. I think in terms of color scheme, it looks very nice. I think this blue, having the Trek logo very big going onto the head tube, like I said, I find it very nice. I want to know what you guys think in terms of aesthetically. Do you guys like it? And then this one is another color version. So this is called Quicksilver Brushed Chrome, and you can see that the Trek logo doesn't go all the way up to the head tube area. So that's very interesting. Do you guys like the big Trek logo, or do you guys do not like the Trek logo? So I'll show you guys the blue one yet again. I like how the K goes all the way up to the head tube. I think it looks poppin'. So let's look at the specs. So this is probably the level entry in terms of what you get, because I can see 105. So let's look at the specs really quickly and see what you get. So you get frame is the 500 series carbon, so it's still carbon. Fork is also carbon. Now in terms of the rim, you're getting aluminum, which is pretty much what you would expect at this price point. It is tubeless, so that's great to see. Now in terms of tire clearance, still 28C across all the Emondas. I would like to have seen it go to at least 33, maybe do some mixed terrain type stuff. Other than that, in terms of the group set, you're getting 105, front derailleur, rear derailleur. The crank is a 105 from Shimano also. Cassette is 105, so all 105 componentry, and everything else is aluminum for the handlebar, seat post, saddle, and also the stem. So pretty much what you would expect out of level entry race bike, and the weight for this is 9.15 kilograms or 20 pounds. So I would say that's pretty heavy, but then again, it's to be expected for the low end. I'm curious to see what the weight is for the TREK EMONDA SLR 9 E-Tab. So let's look at the weight if they have it posted here, and it's 6.74 kilograms, which is crazy light. So 14, almost 15 pounds. So you can see some pretty good weight savings. I always like to say this, that the biggest weight savings you guys can do is on yourself, and that comes down from training. So don't get too caught up in terms of weight. I'm not a weight weenie, and I hope you guys aren't either. You guys should be training weenies and getting the best training on the bike you guys can. But it's pretty interesting. I really do like the look of the new TREK EMONDA. I'm a big fan. I think it was definitely time to upgrade the geometry and the tubing of the frame. So very nice to see. Now, if you guys leave a comment of what bike you would want me to compare to the brand new TREK EMONDA 2021. I love doing comparison videos, and I know you guys like to see that as well. So don't worry, I'm going to be making very shortly a comparison between the TREK EMONDA 2021 and comparing it to a bunch of all-around race bikes that I've already made comparisons on my channel. If you guys have one in specific that you guys want me to do right away, leave it in the comment section down below. But until then, I hope you guys did enjoy this quick first look at the different models of the TREK EMONDA 2021. If you guys did enjoy the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Strava to stay up to date with the riding that I do. And until the next one, keep on pedaling.